Imagine it's a weekday morning 10 years from now. You look out your office window and see a picture-perfect transit system. What does it look like? Does it go as far as you can see? Or is it concentrated downtown? Is it moving lots of people all at once? Or moving fewer people to more places? Let's take a step back and talk about what transit is. It's more than just big vehicles and timetables. It's people taking trips together, sharing a vehicle, and going different places. It's a system that lets people share a ride by just showing up. Transit does lots of things. Saves people money, gets cars off the road, keeps the air cleaner, and reduces energy use. But what transit does more than anything is give people access, especially people who don't have a car when they need one. Planners often talk about mobility and access together, but they're different. Mobility is going somewhere. Access is getting there, or getting what you need whether you travel or not. You can have access without mobility. You can shop on the internet, for example, or buy a coffee at your downstairs cafe. But if you don't have access, increased mobility can give you access. Access to workplaces, schools, shops, monster truck rallies, the skate park, a movie theater, better coffee shops. The built environment in most places in the U.S. doesn't give people easy access, so they rely on mobility, mostly automobility, for their access. People have to travel to get goods, services, activities, and opportunities. Cars give you mobility and access, but then you need a car. Public transit gives access to everyone, or at least it can, if it's designed to. Let's get back to imagining that perfect transit system. Research shows that feeling safe is a priority for transit riders. If the station or stop is nice, that's fine, but riders don't care as much about that. If the service is frequent, reliable, and direct, then riders spend less time waiting, which helps them feel safer. And now we've got ourselves a pretty good transit system. If it can also be affordable, or in some cases free, then we're talking great. So how do we make your city's existing transit system more like that? Let's start by talking about cars. As you've probably noticed, there are a lot of them. Most cities in the U.S. are built around cars, with more space designed for cars than for people. As a result, people drive more in the U.S. than anywhere else, even when compared to countries with similar rates of car ownership. More cars on the road means more traffic congestion, putting transit behind schedule. City planners often attempt to solve the problem by simply building more roads and traffic lanes. But research shows that rather than reducing congestion, increased road space just attracts more vehicles. The same is true for parking spaces. All over the world, cities have successfully reduced traffic congestion by introducing flexible or dynamic pricing systems for public roads and parking spaces. Metering road infrastructure like we do for electricity, water, or any other public utility makes people think twice about driving when they have other options. Fees for using certain roads, highway lanes, and parking zones are adjusted depending on demand. Drivers pay more during peak hours and less when traffic is light. Metering road space solves a lot of problems. In addition to reducing congestion and commute times, it encourages commuters to seek cheaper, healthier, and more sustainable forms of transportation, such as city buses, light rail, cycling, and walking. And revenues raised from these priced roadway and parking systems can fund transit and low-income mobility programs. Of course, pricing is only part of the equation. The other part is making the right upgrades to your city's transit system. You can attract and accommodate more riders by making operational improvements, like better vehicle tracking and spacing, so vehicles arrive when they're supposed to. Realistic schedule setting, so late buses and trains are rare. Concentrating service on fewer lines with more frequent service. Adding real-time next bus information at major stops and on smartphones. Offering express and skip-stop services, so certain buses can go faster by not stopping as much. Building in redundancy, so that when a bus falls behind schedule or a train breaks down, a replacement arrives quickly. Operational improvements like these minimize wait times at stops, which is really important for riders to feel safe. And you can make planning improvements, like making transit routes and signage easy to understand and legible, with lots of straight lines and clear transfer points. Adding transit-only lanes in congested areas. Sometimes these transit lanes can be tactical, meaning they are short and only used in blocks or at times where they're really needed. Adding transit signal prioritization. That gives buses more green lights. Making it easy to pay fares. Adding all-door boarding and alighting to reduce the time buses spend sitting at stops. And designing ways for buses to avoid having to re-enter traffic. When you make the overall transit experience more reliable, more people ride, so service can be more frequent, which creates more access, so that even more people ride. All of this allows transit to accomplish its many goals. It's a virtuous cycle. It's not just a pipe dream. With your help, that great transit system can become a reality. If you're a developer, think about how transit and walking can serve your site, so you're not just building around cars. If you're an urban planner, look for ways that land uses can better support riding transit and walking. Tie transit into plans and make roads straighter and better suited to bus routes. If you're a city official, revisit your land use code to see where and how cars are favored over other modes. Eliminate minimum parking requirements that subsidize driving and induce sprawl, for example. If you're a voter, support initiatives that improve transit, biking, and walking in your area, and support calls for denser development in build-up areas. Maybe even voice your support for managing cars. If you're a driver, let that bus in front of you pull out from the curb. If you're a rider, well, keep riding. Safer, cleaner, more reliable, accessible, and equitable transit is possible. And it starts with you.